Good evening, Kansas State University students, faculty, staff, and special guests. Welcome to the 2019 New Student Convocation. My name is Dr. Steve Smethers. I'm the Associate Director of the A.Q. Miller School of Journalism and Mass Communications here in K-State's College of Arts and Sciences. And it's my pleasure to introduce my talented faculty colleagues who have been playing for you. Paul Hunt, John Kilgore, Jacqueline Fasler-Kerstetter, Stephen Maxwell, and Craig Parker, the Kansas State University Faculty Brass Quintet. Please enjoy. That music was fantastic. Let's give the Faculty Brass Quintet a big round of applause. led by Terry Ferguson on bagpipes. Please stand and welcome President Richard B. Myers and members of the President's Cabinet, Provost and Executive Vice President Charles Tabor, and members of the Council of Deans, Faculty Senate President Tanya Gonzalez, Student Governing Association President Jason Penny, and Vice President Ali Karamali, and our distinguished faculty, student, and alumni speakers. The University Mace is posted today by Dr. Tanya Gonzalez, Faculty Senate President. The Mace, designed by alumnus Tom Boley, symbolizes the university's mission. The diamond-shaped top points to the future, and its 3 wooden rings represent what you will take with you from K-State: knowledge, understanding, and skill. Please give Mr. Ferguson a round of applause. And now, the posting of the colors by K-State's Air Force ROTC Student Honor Guard. And please stay standing for the national anthem with lead vocalist R.J. Leonard.
Time. Left about. Arch. Detail. Halt. Present. On.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
College turn. On. Forward. March.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. K-Staters, will you please welcome the 14th President of Kansas State University, General Richard B. Myers, United States Air Force retired, and the university's Chief Academic Officer, Provost, and Executive Vice President, Dr. Charles Tabor.
Well, thank you, Dr. Smethers. It's an honor to serve alongside the members of the Cabinet, Dean's Council, the Faculty Senate, and Student Governing Association, just as it's an honor to welcome you, K-State's newest students. Give yourself a round of applause. We're so happy you're here. As I recall from my own student days, the start of the fall semester is a time of great anticipation and excitement. But another time of great anticipation and excitement is not that far away, when you're here in this building a few years from now, surrounded by family, by friends, celebrating your graduation from Kansas State University. That's actually what today's convocation is all about. We want you to start at K-State with a vision of your goal, and not just a vision, but a practical and clear-eyed plan. How are you going to learn as much as possible? How are you going to empower yourself? Empower yourself so that you can lead and serve. How are you going to engage with the wealth of resources that we have here? Manage your time and successfully negotiate many challenges. How are you going to progress so that you wind up right back here in a few years, not as our newest students, but as our newest alumni? I graduated from K-State way back, 1965, with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. Much has changed. Just look around at all the new buildings on campus and so forth. But what hasn't changed is our commitment to the land-grant mission. We are committed to providing broad access to a first-rate university for education for all who seek it, while also serving our state and the world with truly world-class research and outreach. That is K-State's mission. It's a mission that values diversity, and a land-grant mission is, at its heart, one that values inclusion. The K-State family is strong and proud, and with the addition of this entering class, you here this evening, we just became even stronger. And we couldn't be prouder. Provost Tabor, don't you agree?
I absolutely do. Another reason we're strong is that we enjoy outstanding leadership on all four of our campuses, Manhattan, Polytechnic, Olathe, and Global. And it's my pleasure to introduce them to you this evening. Would the members of the President's Cabinet please stand as you are recognized? We welcome Ethan Erickson, Chief Financial Officer and Director of Budget Planning. Ashley Martin, Associate Vice President for Communications and Marketing. Jay Stevens, Vice President for Human Capital Services. Gary Pratt, Chief Information Officer. Beth Montalone, Senior Associate Vice President for Research. Thomas Lane, Vice President for Student Life and Dean of Students. Brian Samuel, Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer. Would the members of the Council of Deans please stand as you are recognized? We welcome Ernie Minton, Dean, College of Agriculture. Tim DeNoble, Dean, College of Architecture, Planning and Design. Kevin Gwinner, Dean, College of Business. Gary Clark, Interim Dean, Carl R. Ice, College of Engineering. John Buckwalter, Dean, College of Health and Human Sciences. Debbie Mercer, Dean, College of Education. Allison Wheatley, Assistant Dean, College of Arts and Sciences. Michael Haddock, Associate Dean, University Libraries. Carol Shanklin, Dean, Graduate School. Bonnie Rush, Dean, College of Veterinary Medicine. Dwayne Dunn, Associate Dean, Global Campus. Jackie Spears, Interim Dean and CEO, Olathe Campus. Interim Dean and CEO Alicia Starkey of K-State Polytechnic is presiding at the new student convocation on the Salina campus and sends her regrets. Finally, would the Faculty Senate President and SGA President and Vice President please stand as you are recognized? We welcome
Tanya Gonzalez, Faculty Senate President. Jansen Penny, Student Governing Association President. Ali Karamali, Student Governing Association Vice President. Thank you all for your leadership. As President Myers said, Kansas State University is strong and proud. It is made even more so with the addition of you, our incoming first-year class. You bring a wealth of diversity of experience and ideas and aspirations. You have so much to contribute to our learning community. K-State is strong and proud, and it is also welcoming. As you take up your place here as students, please know that you belong. We're thrilled to see you here today. Welcome to K-State.
In 1863, University President Joseph Dennison proclaimed full educational privilege to all, regardless of gender, race, or creed. We move forward.
When George Washington Owens and Minnie Howell received their diplomas as the first African Americans to graduate from Kansas State University, we moved forward.
We chose to unite when racial tension and unrest were prevalent on many campuses nationwide. When we pledged to focus on shared values and foster an inclusive and welcoming atmosphere, we moved forward.
We must embrace our ages, faiths, beliefs, races, disabilities.
We must embody our cultures, ideologies, personalities, differences.
Differences are essential. You don't need to change your beliefs to be a valued member of the K-State family.
Be yourself.
Share ideas.
Listen to others.
And move K-State forward.
When faced with challenges and hardships, forward.
When our beliefs are challenged, forward.
When we are triumphant, forward.
It's the direction we've always gone.
And the direction we must continue to go.
Forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Greg Eislein, Director of K-State First, the university's first-year experience program, and Professor Tara Coleman, the chair of the KSBN Common Reading Program.
Hey everyone. I'm delighted to be here today to welcome you to K-State, and it's so great to see all of you. I love this time of year because it's a time to start over. What matters now is not really what happened last year or in the past. What matters now is today and tomorrow and the rest of this school year. For you, our newest students, this is especially true. There's never a moment that this is not more true. Convocation is our chance to welcome you to K-State and to remind you that when you wake up tomorrow for the first day of college, you're going to have this amazing chance to start over. You'll find that whatever you were in high school matters less now than what you do tomorrow and the next day and the rest of the school year. I say this because when you return here a few years from now to receive your diplomas, you'll be a different person. You may have the same color eyes or the same way of smiling, but you'll see the world differently, and you'll think differently. For virtually everyone who walks these halls and earns that degree, college is transformative. So, take advantage of the transformative events that are going to be a part of this year and that are going to define your college experience, your classes, KS Unite, Wildcat Dialogues, Homecoming, and so many more. Convocation is also about taking a few minutes here on the eve of your college career to think about what kind of person you want to be when you graduate. You'll not only know more, a lot more when you leave here, but your core character will also be strengthened and changed by your time at K-State. And you're going to learn what it's like to be part of one of the greatest extended families ever. When we call K-State a family, it really means something. You're going to see that your K-State family is here for you now and after you graduate. You'll realize that the support we provide each other is crucial to the learning that you're going to do here and your success here. This element of family makes K-State a very, very special place to learn, and it will be an indelible part of who you are from this very moment on. So, as you start your college career, please take a few moments to think about your families and your extended families, those who helped you get here, and those who are going to help you going forward and make it back here for graduation. Your professors, your K-State support network, and your fellow students. Thank you, and have a great day of class, first day of class. Our next speaker is my good friend, University Librarius Professor Tara Coleman, who also leads our terrific Common Reading program. Tara?
Hey, Wildcats. My name is Tara Coleman, and I'm super excited to talk to you today. I, too, am a Wildcat. I graduated from K-State in 2002, and I got my first grown-up job back at K-State in 2004 at Hale Library. And I've been at the library ever since. On top of working at the library, I have had the honor of leading our Common Reading program, the K-State Book Network, or just KSBN. The purpose of KSBN is to help build community and create a common experience for first-year students like you and the rest of campus. At K-State, we wear purple, we do the Wabash, and we read books. Every year, we have a really large committee of student, staff, and faculty. We read tons of books, trying to find the one book that we think will create a great experience for our campus. And I'm really excited to talk to you about the book that we are reading this year. Darius the Great is Not Okay by Adib Khorram. Darius the Great tells the story of a high school student named Darius, who's a Persian American teen who balances his love for tea and nerdy things like Star Trek with his depression. A visit to his family in Iran offers him a way to understand himself, his family, and what he calls home. This book gives us the opportunity to find ways to support others while taking care of ourselves. It gives us examples of what the struggle to find identity can look like, as well as ways to mend fences when someone is hurt. Darius the Great, his experience may be familiar to some of you, and I hope you use the book for inspiration as you navigate K-State as a new student. I want you to embrace your nerdiness. I want you to try new and potentially uncomfortable things, be open to new friendships, and go to foreign places, even if it's just Aggieville. Once you've read the book, I want you to talk about it with someone. And if you're not sure how to do that, you can just start with, what was high school like for you? Was it like Darius's? I also want you to take inspiration from the book and this year's activities. It can be something really light, like nerding out on something like Star Trek, or it can be something a little more serious, like scripting how you would respond in a situation that's uncomfortable, unfamiliar, or challenging. I also want you to join me and hundreds of other K-State students and listen to the author talk. He'll be at K-State September 12th at 7 p.m. in the Union Ballroom. One last thing, I work in the library, and I'm so excited that we are going to open up after being closed for a year. And I want you to come, yay, library! Okay. I want you to come to Hale when it's open. I want you to come find me, and I want you to tell me your thoughts about the book. I don't care what they are, I just want to hear it from your own words. So thanks for this opportunity. Welcome to K-State, and go Cats!
Now, please join me in welcoming three outstanding returning students, Brianna Jackson, Byron Lewis, and Olivia Rogers. Our first speaker is Brianna, a K-State First Learning Assistant, a McNair Scholar, and a senior in the College of Health and Human Sciences.
Hey guys. So as a first-gen senior, I came to college not knowing what to expect. I got involved as soon as I got to K-State and have gotten increasingly busy as college has intensified. So if college has taught me anything, it's this. Take the opportunities presented to you, but also learn how to say no. I've had many experiences that have helped me grow these last 3 years. They include going to academic conferences, studying abroad, and presenting my own research, just to name a few. But you have to remember that you need to be you first of all, and your goals, your happiness, and your well-being may come before the other obligations that you may have. Your time here at K-State is a very crucial period for emerging adults. This is the time to explore the world without leaving a 25-mile radius. You'll meet people that you'll become an important part of your future life. You will experience life from a new point of view and grow into a human being possibly unrecognizable from who you are now, and that's okay. No one will tell you that college will be hard, it will cost you lots of money, and you won't want to get out of bed some days, and you'll hear long speeches over and over again, but it's all worth it. You will come out on top. You will see the light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how long it takes you to get there, just know that you're going to make it to the end. Our next speaker is Byron Lewis, a mentor in the Call Me Mr. program and a senior in the College of Education.
Hi, everyone. When I came to K-State 3 years ago as a transfer student, I never could have imagined all the opportunities I would have or the amazing people I would be blessed to meet along the way. After a year at a university that wasn't the right fit for me and a 2-year hiatus from school, K-State gave me my fresh start. This university has something for all of the identities that make up oneself. I encourage you to get involved in activities and organizations that interest you, even if you've never done it before. Try your hand and get involved in things you like. Here I have been able to connect with other students and mentors culturally, spiritually, and academically. As a first-generation college student myself, I know how added pressures can get to you. People have to balance their course load with work, extracurriculars, relationships, and some may be trying to look after family back home. You are going to be pulled in several different directions, but please remember you are a student first. Pay extra attention to your well-being and your mental health. That way you can take care of everything else that life throws at you. As I like to say, it's okay to breathe. So whether you're a freshman, transfer, first-generation student, non-traditional, legacy, or anything else in between, please look at this as your fresh start. You are here for a reason, and I am so proud of you for choosing K-State. Our next speaker is Olivia Rogers, a member of the Mortarboard Senior Honor Society and senior in the College of Arts and Sciences.
Perhaps the most asked question during your time at college is, what's your major? Followed closely by, and what do you want to do with that? Coming into college, I was laser focused on what I would become and what I was going to do. Did I want to stick with my major? What career might I have someday? What clubs or organizations did I want to be involved with during my time at K-State? We often define our success by what we become, but I'd like to offer a different perspective. Success is not about what we become, but about who we become. You may or may not finish college with the major that you started with. You may or may not find your dream job. Maybe you'll find something much better. You may experience career success. You might also experience career failure. But through all of the uncertainties regarding what you do, who you are doesn't change. Who you are dictates how you respond, react, and grow through every season of life. I want to share with you 3 S's that can help you shift from answering the question, what you will become, to answering who you will become. First, select. Now is the time to get involved in clubs, activities, organizations, ministries, service projects, research, you name it. K-State probably has a club focusing on it. So get involved, but be intentional and selective about it. Everything has trade-offs. You might spend time in an activity to the detriment of a class, or time with friends to the detriment of alone time. These trade-offs aren't always bad, but be aware of them. Show me your calendar, and I can show you what's truly important to you. Second, serve. It's easy to become self-focused during your college career. In the midst of trying to figure out your own life, it's easy to forget that everyone else is trying to do the same thing. Challenge yourself to complete one small act of service a day. Find a moment to look outside of yourself. Hold the door open. Talk to the person next to you in class. Call a family member. Third, sit. There's a saying that what we measure, we manage. Taking time to sit and reflect on who you're becoming is key to following through on your goals. Journal, go for a walk, or take a drive. Slow down and ask yourself if you're becoming the person that you want to be. It's tempting to measure success by what we become, but the truest, most lasting success and impact doesn't actually stem from the accomplishments that we list on our resume. Instead, as put by prolific writer, thinker, and Saint Catherine of Siena, be who you were meant to be, and you will set the world on fire. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia, Byron, and Brianna. Fellow Wildcats, please welcome veterinarian and director of operations for Midwest Veterinary Services, Dr. Charlie Call, from the classes of 2012, 2014, and 2016, and a 2019 Alumni Association Distinguished Young Alumni Award recipient, sharing his remarks with us by video.
I'm honored to welcome all of you into the Kansas State community as you became part of a family that takes pride in sharing the values, traditions, and memories that bind us all together. Today, you begin a new chapter in your life, and for most of you, this is where your legacy begins. So don't waste a moment, as you have every opportunity to make the most of the life you have right now. Your choices today will impact not only your legacy at Kansas State University, but your life's legacy. Think of it this way. If you had only 4 years to live while attending Kansas State University, how would you spend it? You could spend quality time with the people you meet, really paying attention to every word they said. You could go out and have some amazing experiences, exploring the world through the diverse programs that K-State offers. Or you could spend it learning as much as you can from your classmates, friends, professors, or by studying life itself. You could create something through enrolling in hands-on laboratory experiences or undergraduate research opportunities. You could go out and build your network by becoming active on campus, going to sporting events, or being active within your dorms or Greek house. You could leave a legacy by creating art and music, making people's lives better, or solving a problem in your own small way. Any of those choices, or a combination of them, would be a worthy way to spend those 4 years. However, each moment is limited, fleeting, and precious. With the same mindset about time, I challenge you to live your life to the fullest and embrace today. As a first-generation college graduate from a small rural Nebraska community, I'm proud to have my legacy's foundation built upon the values, traditions, and memories from my time at Kansas State University. I wish you all the best. Go Cats!
And finally, to deliver the charge to you, Kansas State University's newest students, please welcome University of Missouri professor Dr. Cale Monk, from the 2010 and 2013 graduating classes and a 2019 Alumni Association Distinguished Young Alumni Award recipient.
Hello. How's everyone doing? So it sounds like I'm the last thing standing between you and your night. So let's have a little bit of excitement, right? I'll try to make this as painless as possible. So as an alum of Kansas State University and now a professor of Human Development and Family Science, I'm thrilled to talk to you today in the midst of one of life's biggest transitions. Now, many of you are facing multiple transitions. the transition to adulthood, adjustment to a new town. You've been launched from the nests of your family of origin, and you are all experiencing the transition to college at K-State. It's exciting, but like any transition, changes can be stressful. One particular transition stressor that I research is uncertainty, the unknown. It can prompt emotional reactivity and crippling anxiety. As a former therapist, I know how important it is to acknowledge and normalize this experience. But uncertainty doesn't have to be a bad thing because it means that your lives aren't written in stone. You have the freedom to explore and find what does and doesn't work for you. I wasn't popular in high school. I know that that's hard to believe, but I wasn't always this most handsome, dashing, most good-looking speaker you've ever seen. I was actually socially awkward. I was what many would consider a nerd, so I wore tube socks with sandals, and I was really into X-Men and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But I tried my best at fitting in and tried being what other teenagers thought was cool. So I tried out for the basketball team because sports were a great way to elevate your social status where I was from. How do you think that went? Well, one thing that I should tell you is that I'm probably the most uncoordinated person you'll ever meet. If I was chewing gum while talking to you, I'd probably fall over. I was so bad at pretending to be a jock, something that I wasn't, that my sweet, supportive mother had to ask, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to keep playing basketball? I mean, when you try to catch the ball and when you try to dribble, it looks really awkward. Aren't you embarrassed?" I was on the C team. There was, like I said, it was a small town. There was probably 40 people in my class, maybe 18 guys on the basketball team, and I was on the C team. I couldn't even make junior varsity at 6'4". So my first semester at K-State, I didn't try out for the basketball team, and I stayed in my dorm room almost every night. That is until people on my dorm floor encouraged me to get out and meet people and to get involved. Human development researchers talk about the Psychosocial Moratorium, a developmental transition period typically in Western nations before many rigid responsibilities of adulthood creep in. When some young adults are granted the societal freedom to try on different hats or roles during transitions, to explore their identity and find out who do they want to be. K-State is where I finally had the freedom to explore who I was in an intellectually encouraging environment. I got to be a nerd, I got to be funny, and even though I was uncoordinated and awkward on the basketball court, I learned that I could own a dance floor. So here at K-State, you can find a space to be accepted. If you like sports, you can join an intramural team. If you like dancing, you can take a salsa class. And if you like live action role-playing or LARPing, you can join groups of people dressed like wizards and throw styrofoam swords at each other on the quad, and you'll be among friends. I myself never did this, but at K-State, there's a club for almost everything. And I don't judge. I once dressed like Lady Gaga and sang Poker Face at the Student Union for a fundraiser. High school Kale would have never done that. Here at Wildcat Nation, I was encouraged and supported to find who I was and my passion. I liked helping people and doing service, so I got involved in leadership studies, family studies and human services, and various campus ministries and honor societies. I became lifelong friends with people who I never would have had the nerve to talk to if we went to the same high school. After graduation, I became a marriage and family therapist, and then a relationship researcher and professor. Now I spend all day talking to college students about dating and marriage, a field and a job I would have never known existed if I trusted that voice of uncertainty in my head that was telling me I would fail and I shouldn't explore and I should stay in my dorm room. But uncertainty doesn't have to be crippling. It can be exciting. For most of you, this is a time when you can be exploring what you want to be, career-wise, but also as a person. So I encourage you to take advantage of this moratorium privilege to the extent that you can. So explore, Find people who support you, but also find people who intellectually challenge you and encourage you to grow. Find your tribe, find your calling, and ask yourself, what do I want to be? And become it here at K-State. And I'll leave you with the wise words of an idol who I was introduced to in my time here as an undergraduate at Kansas State University. Keep it cool, what's the name of this club? I can't remember, but it's all right, just dance. Gonna be okay, da-da-do, just dance. Oh yeah, thank you.
That was great. So, members of the K-State family, please stand and join the members of the School of Music, Theater, and Dance in singing the Kansas State University alma mater. So now you're officially a K-Stater. And dear Wildcats, we look forward to seeing you in this venue many times in the future, including your own commencement ceremony 4 years from now. Are you ready for some football? Okay. You're invited to join us next door at Bill Snyder Family Stadium for this year's kickoff picnic and pep rally. Welcome to K-State, and go Cats!